Hello and welcome to my next video tutorial. So in this video we're going to simulate a real-time situation in Cisco Packet Tracer. So before we could go and simulate the real-time scenario, we need to know about two devices. One is a switch and the other one is the router. Okay, so router. So we need to know and understand what is a switch and a router. So a switch is represented something like this. Um, okay, and a router is something like this. Okay, so yeah, the switch is used to transfer packets of message within a network. So let us say there are three computers connected in the switch, and all you can do is you can transfer from this computer to this one or this one to this one. Within the network you can share or send any messages, whereas the router, it sends messages from one network to another. So let us say there is two switch. So a switch is basically used to connect a lot of computers within a network. Okay, something like that. And let us say each network has two computers. Okay, so that is a computer. So I'm sorry, it's so bad, I know, but I'm not an expert in drawing. So anyways, so the router, it is used to send packets or messages from one network. So this is one net, let us say network A, and this is network B. It is used to transfer messages from one network to another, or vice versa. Okay, so that is the function of the router and switch. Router. So with this in mind, let us go and simulate the real-time scenario in Cisco Packet Tracer. So see you there. Alright, so now let's open the Cisco Packet Tracer software. It's taking some time to load. Okay, yeah. Alright, so here, once the software is open, on the bottom left side you will find icon that says switch. Click on it and you need to drag the 2960 switch. Okay, let us take two switch over here because we're going to create two networks. And click on end devices. You'll have this computers and the laptop, so you can select how many computers you want. So I'm going to select two computers and a laptop over here, and one computer and two laptops in the other network. Okay, so now you click on connections because we need to connect the computer to the switch. So click on the copper straight through cable, and when you click on the computer, and you can also see that the icon will change like a real time, like a real life Ethernet cable. So you click on the computer and you click on fast Ethernet 0, and click on switch and click on fast Ethernet 0/1. Okay, and similarly click on the copper straight through cable again and click on the computer and the switch, and as you can see there are 24 ports. You can use any of the port. It is not necessary that you have to use the ports in order. Even I can use, let us say randomly I used the 13th port, so still it works. So here you can see that there are green dots and orange dot. So the orange dot, it means that configuration is in progress. So we will be looking at why these orange dots, what work it is doing in the background in the later videos. So don't worry, the orange will turn into green after a couple of times. So do the same for the other network over here. This one, and yeah. Okay, so to change these orange dots to green dots as soon as possible, you have a fast forward time option. Just click on that twice, it will change into green. Okay, so green indicates that the configuration is done and the link is good. Alright, so now let us try to send a message from PC0 to PC1 using this icon over here on the right hand side. You click on PC0, and if you click on PC1, it says PC1 has no functional ports. That is because we have not assigned IP address to the computer. If you can recall, the IP address is the name you give to a computer in a network. So click on a computer and go to desktop, and you will find an option that says IP configuration. In the IP address, you can give any IP address you want. So the IP address I'm going to give is 192.168.0. Let's say 2. Okay, and when you click on the subnet mask, it will automatically fill up because it is a class C IP address. The subnet mask is 255.255.255.0. So we'll look at what is default gateway and DNS server later, but for now just fill in the IP address. The subnet mask should automatically fill up. So I'm going to give this 192.168.0.3 because 0.2 is for the PC0. So okay, I'm going to give 0.4. Okay, now let us try to send a message from this computer to this computer, and it says successful. So we are able to send a message from a computer to another computer within the same network without any obstruction. So similarly we'll do it here in the other computer over here, but here I'm going to change the network. Okay, we don't need the DNS server, so I'm going to change the network. So I'm going to give it 192.168.1.2. This was 0.2 and this is 1.2. So it means that it is two different networks. Okay, and if you don't know how to find out or if you don't know how to find how a computer belongs to a different network, you check out my previous videos. Dot 1.4. Okay, so now let's try to send message from a computer. It's successful, great. Now we are going to do something interesting. We are going to send message from this network over here to this network. So just in case for us to remember, let me type in the network address of this network and the network address of this network so that I don't forget. Okay, so click on this router. So you will find a generic router. So click and drag the generic router. Okay, and when you place your cursor on the router, you can see that there are fast Ethernet serial ports, fast Ethernet, so and so. Okay, so now we're going to connect these two different networks to the router. So I click on the connections and copper straight through cable to 0/3. I'm going to connect to fast Ethernet 0/0. And always you should connect a particular port to the same port. So here I've connected to the fast Ethernet port, so I have to connect the fast Ethernet port of the router. If I've connected the cable to the gigabit Ethernet, which is, you can see at the bottom, the gigabit Ethernet, then I should connect the cable to the gigabit Ethernet on the router. So in this router there is no gigabit Ethernet, but if you explore the all other routers, you will have a router which has a gigabit Ethernet port. So yeah, So now let us connect this router over here to this switch. Okay, and you can see there is this red color button. So no matter how much I click on this fast forward time, it doesn't turn green. That's because the router is disabled by default. So you cannot use a router unless and until you configure it. So the router, each individual ports behave like a individual computer, which means I have to assign IP address to each port. So click on the router and click on CLI. It will open up a command line interface. So it is here where we will configure the router. Okay, just press no. Okay, so there are three different modes in this router. As you can see, it says router and there's a greater than symbol. So this is a basic mode. It's called user mode. Okay, and once let us say that I'm so new to Cisco Packet Tracer and I don't know any command. So what I do, I press the question mark, type in question mark, and you see a list of commands that you can type in. So what you want is this enable command. We need to turn on privilege command. So the three modes, user mode, privilege mode, and configuration terminal mode. We need to go to the configuration terminal mode to configure our router. So to get into configuration mode, we need to get into the enable mode first, and then you can see that the greater than symbol has been is turned to hashtag. So once again I press the question mark. You can see there are a lot of commands available in this enable mode. So enable mode is a bit higher than the user mode. You can do a lot of you can enter a lot of commands in enable mode than you can do in user mode. So here we're looking for a command that says configure. Yeah. So when I configure and space, when I hit question mark, it says terminal. So we need to type terminal and space question mark, it says CR. So once you see the CR, it means that the command is complete. So press enter. Now we are into configuration terminal mode. So now what we will be doing here is we're going to be assigning the IP address to these each ports. Okay. So first we need to get into the port. So we are going to get into this fast Ethernet 0/0 port. Okay, so to do that, type in the question mark. You will find a command which says interface. Select interface to configure. So type interface space and question mark. It says fast Ethernet. So fast Ethernet. Sorry. Fast Ethernet space question mark. It's a number 0 to 9. So our port is 0/0 port and press enter. So you're inside the fast Ethernet interface. So now we are going to assign an IP address to this fast Ethernet interface. So in order to do that, you need to type in the command IP address space the IP address which you want to assign. So note that in here, including the router's port and the other computers, they all belong to a same network, which means it belongs to 192.168.0.0 network. So the IP address of this port should be belonging to this network address. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to assign the IP address 192.168.0.1 space question mark, it says subnet mask. So this is a class C network. So I'm going to give 255.255.255.0 and press enter. So the IP address is set. Okay, so the IP address is set, but still the router's port is disabled. So how to enable it? There is a command which says no shutdown. Okay, and don't worry. So yeah, here the red is changed to green. Okay, and if you don't remember the commands, you can, if you press question mark, you'll have a lot of commands. I just don't want to waste time pressing question mark for each and every command. So if you forgot any command, or if you need any help for a command, you can always use the question mark. Okay, so since we have assigned and enabled this port, we'll do the same to this port as well. Okay, so we'll go exit and interface space fast Ethernet. By the way, if you don't want to type in the entire word, you can press in tab so that it will automatically type in. So it is fast Ethernet 0/1. Okay. What port it is? 1/0. If you press the up arrow, the previous command will automatically pop up. Okay. So interface fast Ethernet 1/0 and IP address 192.168.1.1 and no shutdown. Okay. So if you observe, after every time you hit no shutdown command, you can see something which says interface fast Ethernet change state to up. It means that the port is enabled. Okay. So in real time scenario, you'll not be seeing red dots and green dots. So it will be just this command line interface that you'll be working with. So once you see change state to up, it means that the port is enabled. So now let us try to send message from one computer to another computer. So it should work probably. Oops, it says failed. That's because we did not tell the computer or the switch that there is a router in the network. So in order to do that, we have something called the gateway. The default gateway is the router's IP address. It tells the network that hey, the 192.168.0.1 is the router. So if you want to send a message to different networks, you need to send it to the router. Okay. So the default gateway is 192.168.0.1. Okay, and I do the same for the other 192.168.0.1. 192.0.1. Okay, now let us try to send the message from this computer to this computer. It says in progress and still it is failed. That's because we did not assign the default gateway for this network. So we need to assign the default gateway 192.168.1.1 and 192.168.1.1 and this one is 192.168.1.1. Okay. So just in case if you forget what is the router's IP address, you can just place your cursor on the router and you should see the fast Ethernet 0/0 is 192.168.0.1 and the fast Ethernet 1/0 is 192.168.1.1. So yeah, now let us send the message from one computer to another computer. It says successful. So yay, you have successfully simulated a real-time scenario in Cisco Packet Tracer. So now you know how message is being sent from one network to another network. So oops, that's, you might get failed thing sometimes. That's because due to a process called address resolution protocol, and we'll be looking at the address resolution protocol in later videos. So for now, if you get a failed message, don't panic, it's just normal. Okay, so enjoy sending messages from one network to another network. You can add a couple of networks, a couple of computers, and you can connect to the router. Okay, so have fun. So I'll meet you in the next video. Until then, bye bye.